Hello and welcome to the B Tier podcast. I am your host Brett Claxton, and today I am joined by friend of video gamer Tom Bickmore.
Hello.
And by everyone's favourite bald person in video games, the beautiful, the fantastic David Aubrey Odders Breens.
Oh, hi.
So what is the B Tier podcast? Well, the B Tier podcast is basically a podcast where we talk about geeky things such as video games. We'll be talking about anime and all that jazz at later dates, as well as films and everything that you could sort of imagine a geeky podcast to talk about. But for now, what we're talking about is E3, which has only recently gone. So let's jump right in by talking about the big winner of E3, The Legend of Zelda. So, considering I'm not the biggest Zelda fan, who wants to start by talking about it?
Yo, so Zelda, right? I want to... Oh my god. Let me breathe. It's beautiful. Have you noticed? Have you noticed?
It does definitely look better than I thought it was going to look. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be as pretty as it is.
Like, it's seriously like the art direction and the colour scheme. It's gotten me more excited on that alone for any game in a good few years. It looks incredible, honestly.
See, from what I've seen, I found like some of the art direction looks quite nice. I especially like the way that the fire spreads through the atmosphere, the landscape and everything. It definitely seems interesting, but it's just, I think the reason why it's fell a bit flat for me is it just looks like a third person adventure game, and I think I'm fine with that. But it's still like, there's been a lot of third person adventure games recently.
Yeah, but aren't all those third person adventure games particularly pretty linear? Like, I can't think of any truly open ones.
Yeah, I mean, Metal Gear Solid sort of was open, I suppose, but then that was yet again something that just sort of fell apart because the story was whatever.
God.
Well, I think that's probably something that's a good comparison. I think, is having it quite open and having it you can go around the world and do the missions in the order that you want to, because that's kind of how Metal Gear worked, wasn't it?
Almost. I mean, Metal Gear even then was still fairly linear. Like, you had to complete mission A in order to activate mission B, etc., etc. There wasn't that much leniency, really.
So with Zelda, like I've obviously looked at the trailers and I've picked up bits and pieces about it, but obviously you guys are much more invested in it. So is Zelda literally a case of, if you wanted to, you could march to the last dungeon and try and do that if you so desired?
I've heard something about that, yeah, that you can finish the game very quickly if you know what you're doing, in that you can just go to the final boss straight away. But I imagine that'll be tough.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that definitely sounds... I mean, that's an interesting way of doing it, and I will definitely probably play Zelda at some point, but I don't think it's enough to make me want to pick up a Wii U or an NX just yet, is my issue.
That's fair enough, but I feel like this is a beautiful send away for all the people that did buy a Wii U, because... Wait, do we review or own a Wii U? Bickmore, do you?
No, not yet.
Oh my god.
Like, yeah, I know.
No, okay. So I've owned a Wii U since like a few months after it came out, and over its course I have way more Wii U games physically and digitally than I do on PS4, if you exclude PlayStation Plus, that is.
Yeah.
And I've gotten so much value out of it. And when I always hear people say, I don't feel like this game is enough to make me get a Wii U, I'm always like, that's fair enough, but I also feel like you're really ignoring the massive library it actually does have that's really high quality, and there are still games that I still need to buy. You know?
Yeah. And I suppose it's just the thing, I suppose different games for different people is always going to be the problem. And it's the same reason why, like, I love my Vita, and people, like, beat me in the street because of that sort of thing. Like,
they should.
But it's a case, and there's, in a way, I suppose, they're sort of very similar consoles. They sort of came out, and then Nintendo seemed to almost instantly with the Wii U go like, oh shit, like, this isn't as powerful as the rest of it, and people aren't supporting it, so let's just sort of back away slowly. And I like the fact that they're at least bringing out Zelda on the Wii U rather than just saying, actually, it's going to the NX and you won't be able to get it. It'll be exactly like Twilight Princess, I suppose, in that regards.
Yeah.
If they decided to skip the Wii U after basically selling so many Wii U's on the back of well, we're gonna bring you a Zelda, they'd lose out on so many people because they would be like, well, fuck you, I'm not buying an NX then, you bastards.
Well, already it's pretty unprecedented because the Wii U is the very first Nintendo console that doesn't have its own Zelda game. Because this next one's going to be cross-platform, it's officially the only Nintendo console that doesn't have an exclusive Zelda.
Well, it has. Oh no!
Yeah.
I suppose
Yeah,
it doesn't have
exactly.
Hyrule Warriors.
Because I always forget
Exactly.
Skyward Sword exists on the Wii, but obviously that was its exclusive. Even though has that been ported?
Not yet. I imagine it will be.
Yeah, it'll get some sort of port, no doubt.
Same as Twilight did.
It would be cool to see a HD version. I wouldn't argue with that.
So,
it's a very pretty game.
What are if you had to pick 5 things that you think are particularly cool about the new Zelda, what would they be?
Oh my god, weapons and armor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
cool.
saw that. So
I like that.
Is it basically stuff breaks as you're hitting things, sort of thing? Is it like it's almost like an old school RPG or new school RPG?
Yeah, that does seem to be a factor, and it's like in Wind Waker they sort of experimented with this, where there were certain enemy weapons that you could pick up and use, but they were never very effective. But it actually looks like in the early game, at least, the items that you pick up, like tree branches or rusted swords or even spears, will become the primary weapons. And it's really cool because we've literally never seen Link use a spear before. We haven't seen him have a wide variety of armor changes. We've seen him have some options, but nothing more than like 3 options per game. Now it looks like he's going to be picking up different sets of trousers and shirts left, right, and centre.
Yeah, I did like. There was one bit in the gameplay that they showed that he was fighting a goblin that had a sword and a shield, and like he took out. It basically made it drop the shield. Then he picked it up and used it against it and
cool.
stuff.
Yeah.
So I like that.
I saw someone fighting the skeleton dudes that always respawn until you sort of destroy them properly, and basically picking up their skull, throwing it at their body to destroy them, and then destroying the skull, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
So, do you think it's fair to like?
That's number 1.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. Like, to me, from what I've seen of the footage from E3, would you say it's still as grand and beautiful as it looked when it was first revealed?
People have said to me that it looks like it's been downgraded, and I've sort of been like, are you sure? Because what we saw before... I don't know how
it could be downgraded from a cinematic.
Yeah, what we saw before looked... It was basically one area of the field, and there was just a lot of long grass, and I feel like a lot of people are thinking, hey, where's all that long grass from the trailer in the overworld? But as we saw from the footage shown from, what was it, the Video Game Awards? Hosted by Jeff Keighley and that. When they had the premiere there, even though we were watching like a footage of it being played on a TV by Aonuma Miyamoto, even then you could see that there wasn't grass absolutely everywhere. And I actually think, if anything, the current gameplay from E3 looks a lot better than that demo then, honestly. And the original footage, if they told me that was running on NX, I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Because what we've seen out of E3, all gameplay-wise, has all been Wii U footage. But they've probably had the NX version in development for ages compared to what they've told us.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, definitely. So, can you think of 4 other points that interested you about Zelda?
I like the fact that they're continuing what they did with A Link Between Worlds, in that apparently you can go to any dungeon in any order.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So almost.
I really like that.
You just need to have the right items when you go in. From A Link Between Worlds, you just had to go and get the item from the shop, and then go and do the dungeon if you wanted to. And then if you got stuck, you could leave at any point and then come back or try another one.
That's cool.
That really lends to the open world.
I mean,
yeah, it's incredibly exciting. Another thing that I'm really looking forward to is from what I've seen of the trailers and the gameplay, I actually feel like this game has got an interesting survival aspect. Because, I mean, we've already mentioned that the weapons and items break and you have to pick up new ones. But another thing I've noticed is Link is literally hunting animals and he's picking up meat and he's cooking. And this is something we've never seen him do before. And I was watching some of the Treehouse Live gameplay, and some of the things he's cooked, like a chicken kebab, would actually temporarily increase his hearts. Like he'd have 4 extra hearts that would disappear permanently once he's been hit.
Oh, cool.
Never seen that in any Zelda game before. They really are changing the way this game plays. The way he's picking up the items and the weapons and the armor and the food and the cooking. I actually feel like it's almost like a survival hunter-esque hunter-gatherer experience.
Have you seen as well that like when you go to the cold regions, you have to wear long sleeve clothes, otherwise he starts to freeze.
Lovely.
That's really nice.
Like it's full on.
That's
like,
beautiful.
survival stuff as well.
And do you think it's too drastic a change from Zelda, or do you think it's still got enough of Zelda, or what makes Zelda great in there?
I am all for it.
No way.
Just do it.
Nearly every Zelda is a different Zelda. To be fair,
definitely.
Yeah.
So,
Like the only one where I'd say it isn't fully different is probably Twilight Princess, where I feel like a lot of people can agree it felt almost like a sequel to Ocarina of Time. Or
but it did have the wolf stuff in it. So that's
yeah. But even then, like in the grand scheme of things and how the dungeons worked, it didn't really change much. I don't get me wrong, I love Twilight Princess and I love Ocarina of Time, but it felt very similar. And I do feel like Zelda was the 3D Zeldas at least were beginning to suffer from this bit of repetition. And it looks like this completely changes all of that up, and good, because it's been ages we've been waiting for this.
is Wolf Link in this? I swear I saw someone say he's in this.
So he is if you tap the Wolf Link amiibo.
Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that.
So yeah, I saw some things on Twitter like screenshots going, with Wolf Link, and I was like, hang on, make sure to point that out that that's an amiibo thing. Like you tap it and he spawns in, and he'll help you fight enemies, and then.
I need to unbox my Wolf Link amiibo then. Jesus.
So obviously Zelda's a game that's trying new things and trying to be a bit different from a series that some might say has become a bit repetitive, like you said, Dave. Which sort of segues in nicely to talking about Resident Evil 7, which sort of we all sort of expected that Capcom were going to say something about a new Resident Evil. I was thinking they might be talking about Resident Evil 2. I was surprised it was 7, and I was surprised that the trailer they showed was 7. Have you guys both played the demo yet?
Yeah.
I have now, yes.
Yeah. Have you, Brett?
I have. What do you guys think? Do you still get that Resident Evil vibe from it?
It's hardcore, man.
I did like that I was going back round collecting the items and whatnot. Even though it was in first person, it definitely felt like old Resi at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I've seen a lot of people complaining, but I mean I'm a massive Resi fan. I have been since not long after the first game sort of came out, which I was definitely far too young to be playing at that point. But the whole demo basically feels like that moment when you play as Chris in Resident Evil 1, where you find this monster and you're overwhelmed because all you've got is like a little knife, basically. And obviously there's, at the moment, like maybe, which is one of the things I absolutely love about this demo, is there's so much stuff that, if it's a red herring, it's really irritating. But there's so much stuff that people are still trying to rack their brains to get their head around. It's a much more simpler demo than Konami did with PT, but it's getting lots more like replays and stuff about it, and there's a lot more history that it could be, and it's really interesting. I want to find out what the dummy finger is. I want to find out what the axe does, and I want to find out how the fuck a hillbilly in the middle of nowhere with barely any electricity somehow has a VHS converter to get footage from 2017 onto a VHS tape. But it's the sort of thing. Overall, it's a small thing to criticise, and it's interesting because I was thinking Kitchen was going to be connected to Resident Evil in some way, and I'm glad that it has been. But I thought
it was going to be Resident Evil VR rather than Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, and it is Resident Evil VR. Obviously, it got announced to be playable on PlayStation VR in its entirety.
I just meant in the sense that I thought it was going to be a spin-off more than an actual canon.
What I find crazy is that they've only apparently been making this since the start of 2014, and if it's out next year in January, that just seems like a really quick turnaround to me for a big AAA game. A 3-year turnaround with a completely new engine and everything seems
They've
very
probably
quick.
been working on the engine a lot longer than that, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. But no, I mean, like the demo's interesting, obviously, because there's various ways you can sort of get to the end state. It sort of reminds me of Resident Evil 3 and the Resident Evil Outbreak games, where there were ways that you could actually get different endings, sort of things, depending on the actions you decided to do. And I hope that does play a part. I hope it is almost not a roguelike sort of thing, but a case of you can play it and try something else and get a completely different outcome, or just see different things. It seems very interesting so far. I just want to see more, I suppose.
Brett, would you agree that the demo wasn't as scary as PT?
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that definitely. I was having a conversation with someone about it actually, saying how it's almost like it feels very much like old school American horror. The Resident Evil demo, which is fine. Like that's a different kind of horror, whereas PT was basically full on David Lynch, fuck with your brain kind of being creepy.
There was definitely a vibe of like I don't know if this is just my brain like sort of confirming things that I already know, but like PT felt Japanese, whereas Resi felt more like a Western horror game because it was just dirty and grimy and there was like just like maggoty food and whatnot in the fridge. And...
Yeah, sure.
And it's always been the weird thing with Resident Evil is how massively American it is, considering it's not American in the slightest.
Yes.
It's like even the first game, like they don't. I know they have Japanese voice actors now, but they most of the time use the English voice actors, don't they? In marketing, at least in the early days, I think. And it's interesting. I can't wait to find out more. I hope it delivers. I like the fact that I've justified the fact that I will be buying a PlayStation VR headset, sort of thing, because there'll be a new Resident Evil out in January, which is nice.
I don't think I'll be able to do it.
Play it in VR. I'm scared more so because I've got a cat that just jumps on you at like a moment's notice. So having no way of knowing that he's there, I might actually have a heart attack.
Yeah, totally. I gotta ask, did anyone else get freaked out by the mannequin on the second floor?
Oh, fucker.
The one that fell over?
No. The one that just appears.
What do you mean?
When you go upstairs and you go round the corner, like and you go underneath where the stairs drop down and whatnot. If you then just go back down to go round to go back down, there's a mannequin just standing at the top of the stairs.
Oh yeah, no, I have had that before.
Yeah.
I think I just walked into it at one point.
Terrifying.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you guys seen the ghost yet?
I've not seen it in game, but I've seen videos.
Yeah. That's the interesting thing about it to me, because people probably don't care that much about Resident Evil lore anymore, because Resident Evil 6 was basically a let's do everything and burn the bridge on the way out sort of thing. But there is a new canon, to my knowledge, Resident Evil animated film coming out this year, which is meant to be post Resident Evil 6. So I wonder if it's going to somehow link into explaining all that's going on, because we know Umbrella's involved because we find that photo of the helicopter with the Umbrella logo.
That's super interesting. I love it.
It's great. It's like, this is what you want from sort of an announcement. It's like, here's the trailer, here's a demo, you can speculate now for 6 months and try and figure it out. And I like that more companies are announcing things and they're out in a year, because I'm getting fed up of stuff like No Man's Sky. As much as I'm going to enjoy it, like, don't announce it 5 years ago or whenever they announced it, and then keep delaying it. And like, I was surprised that stuff like No Man's Sky wasn't at E3. It seemed that a lot of big games people expected didn't turn up, like Shenmue didn't and all that. But we did have a few sort of re-announcements of things that we'd forgotten about. Obviously, one of them being Prey popped back up again. I never actually played the original Prey, but the new trailer does look interesting. What do you guys think about it?
Oh god, I don't even think I watched it.
All right. Well, I did play Prey when it first came out, the original one, and I thought it was all right. It was I think it took a lot from Doom 3 in that it was just a dark corridor shooter thing. And then I was really interested in what they were going to do with the original Prey 2, the bounty hunter stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of still wish we got that, but I'm also really interested in this weird sci-fi, like, thrillery thing that they've now announced as Prey. So with the new one, it's all set on a space station. You were being monitored, and then it seems that you get out and there's like a black ooze that's attacking you or something.
I mean, it sounds interesting, and it's like it was one of the most interesting things I think at E3 was that there was a lot of horror. It seems horror's definitely like, I suppose with the rise of the YouTuber, like people like reaction videos and stuff, but there seems to be much more horror and sci-fi horror than there was in previous years starting to come out and getting a big like bit of recognition. And then there was just some very strange sci-fi stuff starring naked Norman Reedus.
Mm-hmm. And his Norman fetus.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Which was it was a sort of exactly what I think we all expected a Hideo Kojima game to be.
That's not what I expected.
So this is we've jumped from Prey here to Death Stranding, which was what Kojima came out down his weird Tron.
Why'd he fuck up the walk?
And he fucked up the walk.
Why'd he fuck up the walk?
It's a perfectly paced lighting thing, and he just
you can sort of see in the replay. He sort of notices he's walked over it. He's like, "Oh shit!" And then he's like, "Nah, you know what? Fuck it. I'm done. I'm just walking."
It would have been better if he did like a Madonna fall or something like that.
Yeah.
Just completely buckled it.
Death Stranding is the imagery is super awesome in that trailer, but at the same time, what the fuck is that?
It's very much sort of as we were saying about PT before. Kojima seems to be, when it comes to horror, very much he likes the more mindfuck stuff than look at this scary house kind of thing. And having weird black footprints and all that all about you was definitely a bit disorientating, and I have no idea what the hell was going on. I think it looked cool. It's nice to see Norman Reedus' arse, you know.
Oh yeah.
It's like I'm pretty sure that I know quite a few people that may end up just buying a PS4 to play a game with naked Norman Reedus.
Totally.
And what is it with Hideo Kojima and announcement trailers with whales in it? Because the Phantom Pain original trailer ended with a giant like fire whale jumping through the sky, and then this one ends with 2 dead beached whales.
Maybe he just really likes whales.
The country.
Oh, you know, I bet on them and they fucked me. Who the fuck would have thought England would win?
Speaking about football, here we go. It's almost like I'm a professional.
We've done it.
It's like I'm a professional podcaster or something.
Yeah.
But FIFA, obviously, finally went the route of here's a story mode. It sort of split people. People would rather have a build your character and go through a less strict story. I think it looks very interesting. EA obviously have priors with Fight Night Champion. I don't know if any of you ever played that.
I didn't play it, but I know of it.
Yeah, and that in itself was an interesting story mode. Did I buy it? No, I rented the game, but I literally rented it so I could play that story mode and then get rid of it. And there's definitely a place for sport story modes, I think, especially when you have Spike Lee fucking it up with NBA.
Yes.
But people seem to have enjoyed that. I'm looking forward to playing it because I've heard it's an absolute train wreck. But the new FIFA looks decent, and I think the story mode actually is interesting enough that people that don't normally play FIFA might pick it up just for that.
So, am I right in that you get to pick which? Because it's only Premier League teams. But do you get to pick any of them? I'm not entirely sure because they showed a Chelsea, a United, and a City.
Yeah,
changing locker room. Wasn't sure.
My understanding, and this might change, is you have a choice of any Premier League team. I wouldn't be shocked if they then change that wording to be like any of the big Premier League teams.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was reading someone's, I think it was probably an interview with the director, or it could have been what they saw in the game, but basically it can be a case that if you're not doing well, you'll get loaned out to a championship side for a bit.
That'd be quite cool. Have like a little sides, like a potential ending that has you.
Yeah, just falling drastically into alcohol and like drunken orgies, which is what most footballers seem to do. Look at Jamie Vardy; he's now having a party.
So long as you can play for Leicester and go to parties with Jamie Vardy, I'll do that. I want to play that one.
I actually think the whole idea of the FIFA 17 story mode sounds really interesting, but I want an extreme sports story mode. Have you guys seen the intro cinematic to NBA 2K17 or 16 even?
No.
Oh my god, it's fantastic. Like, basically, long story short, it ends with you playing basketball against a demon-eyed Michael Jordan, like 500 feet above like a city.
What?
No, honestly, like the game is nothing like that, but the intro cinematic is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. It's like come on and slam, welcome to the jam, and that's what I want out of a sports story mode. I want to be give fucking David Beckham a header so hard that it knocks him out and flies into the goal. You know what I mean? And I want to be doing it against Zeus on Mount Olympus. Give me that game.
Have you heard of a game series called Inazuma 11?
Yes, and it's not that, is it, though?
It's not quite that, but it's at least like Pokemon meets football, which is a hilarious combination.
That's pretty cool. I actually think the battle system in that is pretty damn cool, considering you're playing football. But yeah, give me that, then I'm back in the... That's what I want out of a sports game. By the way, guys, that NBA 2K16, PlayStation Plus right now, worth it for the intro cinematic alone. The rest of the
you
game
need like 80 gigabytes on your hard drive to download it.
You need like, I had like to use like 50, I think. Yeah.
But I think we might start seeing more silly arcade stuff. I mean, we're definitely seeing more of it come out, and you've got what's his name, Dan Marshall of The Swindle and Been There Done That fame. He's making a football game, despite the fact he doesn't really know anything about football, which is brilliant. Called Behold the Kickmen. So hopefully we'll end up at some point with God of War meets David Beckham.
Fantastic. To be fair, that one David Beckham game was apparently pretty good. What was it? Go Beckham or something?
What?
No, it's on the Game Boy Advance.
It wouldn't shock me if there was.
Wait.
That's probably before
I'm
my
Googling
time. I don't know.
Beckham platformer. Yeah, Go Beckham Adventure on Sucker Island is what it's called.
Oh my days.
Yeah, it's like a Game Boy Advance. It's developed by Denki and published by Rage Software in 2002. Go Beckham Adventure on Sucker Island. That's. I'm just gonna buy that. Forget FIFA 17. That's it. It's over.
It's broken you.
It's
You're
over.
too excited.
Go Beckham's happened.
I was gonna say, should we quickly blast through what was announced that we hadn't heard of before at E3? Because we're half an hour in here.
Do it. Blast
Yeah.
it.
So we had God of War
Mm-hmm.
was announced. God of War 4 doesn't have a 4 in it. It's a weird reboot.
Is it God of War 4?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
Isn't it
it
5?
seems that it's a sequel.
Or did 5?
Yeah.
Did 4 happen?
4's never happened. No.
Was it? Okay, sorry. That's me proving my terrible knowledge of God of War lore. I apologise.
No. So yeah, there was the third one on the PS3, and then there was like a couple on the PSP.
There's been
But there was never a PSP. Never a God of War 4.
Fair enough. I am wrong. And it seems to be set during obviously Norse times, which is interesting because it's either a case of that's the same Kratos, which it looks like it is.
Yes. That's what I was trying to work out, because I think this is God of War 4 in that it's taking place after the other ones, but they've just dropped the number.
Yeah. And you know, I'm all for it. I love Norse mythology. It's much more interesting than Greek mythology, in my opinion. And hopefully you'll get to punch Zeus in his stupid beard. That'd be great.
I mean,
Guys,
That
IGN gave Go Beckham Adventure 7 out of 10. That's a good
we're
score.
not talking about this bloody game any longer.
Wait. Sorry, are we talking about God of War?
Yes.
No, yeah, that looks pretty good, man. That looks pretty good.
Do you think David Beckham would be able to beat Kratos in a
No.
fight?
Moving on.
I don't
do you
know,
think
man.
of
In this platformer, he can turn the ball into a fireball and kick it. So, wait, does Kratos have a weakness to fire?
I mean, he has a weakness to like killing his family, which is probably what's going to happen with this new kid that he's got. Which
Beckham kicks the ball in his face so hard.
The kid thing seems like a weird mechanic to me, because I thought maybe it would be a temporary thing, but the fact that you were leveling
like a dream
stats,
sequence or something.
yeah, but you were leveling stats for the kid in the gameplay demo. I don't know if you guys noticed that. So I imagine
was it for the kid, or was it just because this was the opening of the game that Kratos was teaching the kid at the same time the game was teaching you?
Yeah, I suppose maybe it will be that way, and maybe he'll be like brutally murdered by Odin.
Yeah, not Zeus, because he's already fucking killed Zeus.
So can we call this kid Prince Tricky? Is that where this is going?
What are you on about?
Have you never played Star Fox Adventures?
No!
Okay, so basically, Prince Tricky is a little dinosaur that hangs out with you, and you can make him do tasks, and he ruins the pacing of the entire game. And that's basically God of War.
Who even actually likes Star Fox?
Well, who actually hasn't played Star Fox Adventures, regardless of whether it's good?
I've genuinely never played a Star Fox game.
Brett, do you know what I'm talking about here?
I've heard of the dinosaur. I never actually played Star Fox.
Oh my god! Okay, the listeners will know and they'll berate you. I hope.
Well, I think most agree that Star Fox Adventures is where it all went wrong, don't they?
Yeah, well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm comparing it to God of War. Like, he's not punching people in the face anymore. He's, like, getting emotional, and Prince Tricky's shooting a bow, and he's like, you gotta order him to fucking crawl under a hole to unlock a new path, and then you'll be like, oh, but I'm getting attacked by a troll, and you'll have to find the long way around, and that'll happen 7 times and pad out the game.
You said that Kratos doesn't punch people, but there was a bit where you did mash a button and punch a demon's face into a
I love the way that
rock,
they blatantly just removed what would have been the QuickTime event icons in that section.
Actually, no, I think God of War's been pretty good for letting you just hit the button, wasn't it? I can't remember.
God of War sort of brought QuickTime, didn't it?
That's Shenmue.
From what I remember. Or at least the early ones.
But, like, yeah, button mashing to defeat bosses and stuff was very God of War.
That's legit gonna happen. Like,
so obviously God of War has a bit of a shit companion, but there are 2 games that we can talk about that have slightly better companions. Both that have obviously been about for a while, and we got release dates for, one being Scalebound, one being The Last Guardian. Where should we start with that?
Should we start with Last Guardian? Stick with PlayStation?
that looks good.
It does look good. It looks very cute. The animal's very cute.
It looks like a PS3 remaster of a game that never came out. A PS4 remaster of a PS3 game that didn't come out.
It really
Graphically, it doesn't look amazing, I don't think. It looks very nicely directed in terms of art style and everything, but graphically I think it's fallen short, which is what to expect when you end up in development hell, I suppose.
I mean, I expect it to be good. I expect it to be a fun game, but just I don't expect it to be amazing.
Have you read the preview? I read a preview on Eurogamer where they were saying that that they were actually a little bit worried about it because they played the first like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And like Shadow of the Colossus, they've just refused to use a standard control scheme, and it's a bit janky. And it starts in a, you've seen in the trailer, like when the big bird thing is chained to the floor and you wake up next to it. That's how it starts. You have to help him get out of his chains. But because you're in a confined space, the camera just gets stuck on the walls or stuck on its legs, and it doesn't sound.
I fully expect it to be janky as fuck. Like,
I am wondering though. Like, so this has been in development for so long. Have Team Eco been working on something else? Are we going to get to? We're going to get to next year and it'll be like, oh, and here's our other game that we've been working on for only like 4 years and it's out this year.
Well, I bloody hope so, because like otherwise what were they doing in that time? And also what's different about the PS4 that means they can suddenly make The Last Guardian? Because honestly, from what we've seen so far, there's nothing about it that says this could have only happened on PlayStation 4. So far, it's like we could have seen this slightly shitter on PS3.
I think it's still got frame rate issues on PS4.
Then but I don't think it's going to be, at least from what we've seen, I don't think the areas we've seen though so far would have been the issue. Because if it was really like a performance problem, then surely they could have just downscaled some areas. Unless there was seriously some sort of massive scope that was seriously unshakable and unmovable, that means that they literally had to delay it for years instead of compromise. But what could that possibly be?
It was shelved. It wasn't just that they've been developing it for the whole time, but now it's finally able to come out. They did actually can it and stick it in the cupboard, and then.
But why? Why literally?
Fester.
Why did they have to put it down only to say we'll get this out on the next console or whatever?
Yeah.
What means the PlayStation 4 is the right time for this to come out? Or is it just because people have been clamouring for it for so long, Sony were finally fine, just shove it out, whatever?
Shove out a half-broken game and they'll all pay for it.
It's completely possible.
Fingers crossed.
There were obviously Scalebound, another one to talk about. I know that's out next year, not this year, but I still think that looks rough as houses.
It looks okay.
It's Platinum. Platinum never looks smooth.
Yeah, no, that's what I said.
Everyone loves Platinum, and I understand why people love Platinum, but they have a lot of average games, and I know people hate hearing that, and this could be the death of the podcast before we get going. But
I was going to look up Platinum games, because I can't think of all of their games.
To be fair, I think even the most average Platinum game is charming and fun and endearing in its own way. Mad World, I wouldn't say is amazing, but at the same time, it's got a lot of things it offers that no other game offers, and I feel like that's true of every Platinum game.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair. Vanquish is probably a 7, 8 out of 10, but it's a fucking good 7, 8 out of 10 sort of
yes.
thing.
It's one of those. Every Platinum game has something, except for the sequels, have something that only it has. Even Star Fox Zero does things only Star Fox Zero does.
Yeah.
And obviously now they've got their 80s nostalgia game deal with Activision that's just going to keep throwing out random...
Wasn't that done now? Wasn't it just the 3 of them, which was Korra, Transformers, and then Turtles? So I think they're now done.
Maybe, but I wouldn't be shocked if they keep doing it. And they seem like they're fun enough games, although I don't understand why TMNT was only online-only co-op. It's a weird decision.
Is it?
Yeah.
It looks super bad.
Well, this is the thing. It's been critically panned at the gate, and then the few critics who I know were reviewing it have sort of stuck with it and actually gone, "Oh wait, no, this is actually quite good. This is actually better than I thought it was." Rich Stanton in particular, I think, keeps going back to it.
Yeah, I hope Scalebound delivers. I don't fully get what it's doing. It definitely looks unique, is the main thing. But it also looks a bit sort of just smash buttons and
we've never really had a proper good look at it. They keep showing off one short trailer a year that shows off a new side of the game. So last year it was showing off the open world side where it just encountered a dragon or some sort of monster in a field and attacked it. Whereas this year it just showed a massive boss fight with co-op and stuff.
Yeah,
it needs a Fallout 4 E3 last year. Right, here's a good solid. This is what this game is.
Yeah, and it definitely, in terms of trailers, at the Xbox conference, it showed off giant boss battles. It was probably the better one compared to Final Fantasy 15, which looked genuinely worryingly bad.
Oh my god. Was that just the game, or was that the man that was really bad at playing it?
I think it could have been the man that was really bad at playing it.
But the Platinum demo, it's bad.
Yeah. No.
I didn't mind the Platinum demo.
The Platinum demo, my biggest problem with it was the frame rate, because I'm not sensitive to frame rate. I am not one of those people that moan about 60 frames. I prefer 60 frames, but I never have a moan. I have plenty of 30 frames games, fucking have to play a lot of 30 frames games owning consoles. But that demo, when you jumped and you landed and the camera did this sudden stop, this judder, and the frame rate mixed with that, it hurt my head so much. And honestly, never felt disorientated or nauseous playing a game before, but it hurt, man. It was painful.
Is Final Fantasy 15 coming out on PC, or is it just console?
Not PC at the moment.
It'll probably get ported eventually.
I don't know where those trailers of how they're doing those trailers from before, because every time I've seen it actually running on a console, the aliasing on it looks horrible.
Yeah.
Years ago, when they first showed it off, it looked wonderful, and now it looks pretty poor.
Well, it's the Last Guardian problem, isn't it? It's a case of they've now been told this needs to get out the door now. I mean, if you listen to some of the interviews with the directors, they're sort of saying this it could be make or break for Final Fantasy.
Well, I was actually saying, like, just to my friend just last night, the amount of advertising money and just everything money they must have put into Final Fantasy 15 since its inception till now is insane. Because I was on Crunchyroll and suddenly Final Fantasy 15 Brotherhood popped up, and I was like, wait, there's a small anime series? I didn't even know.
Oh yeah, they've got the anime series, a CGI film coming out.
Yeah.
If you pre-order from Game, I think you get an 8-bit throwback prequel to Final Fantasy.
They
15.
are putting everything into this. Everything. Yeah. Like, I cannot believe it.
It's going to be a worry if it's bad, and it genuinely worries me that 3 months away, it's not looking great in a demo on an E3 stage.
That VR demo was really bad.
One good thing that did come out of the E3 week is the announcement that they're going to have a wait mode when you're fighting.
Yeah, I did like that.
Because as I'm not someone that's very good at doing fast-paced movement a lot of the time, so you can basically
you're old.
It's because I am old.
Your brain's
decrepit.
getting crap.
But it's a case of you can just pause it, pick who you're going to attack that, blah blah blah, and it's nice that they're giving you the option, and it's more nice as well because obviously it gives a chance for it to make it more accessible to gamers that are less able, sort of thing.
Do you reckon that they know that Final Fantasy 15 isn't great, and that's why they're doing Final Fantasy 7 remake? Just because they're like, we gotta keep people liking the name. Let's give them what they actually want.
But it's a weird one, isn't it? Because they've got Final Fantasy 12 coming out next year again.
Why do they keep announcing more Final Fantasy games before they get their big one out the door?
It is insane.
Well, it's like Resident Evil. Like they've completely. I think they know Umbrella Corps is not going to be good. We'll find out depending on when you listen to it, we'd probably find out by the time you're listening to it. But it looks bad, and they released 6 not that long ago. 5's out next week or the week after, sort of thing.
Oh god!
And they both have multiplayer options that are basically what it seems Umbrella Corps is doing to a degree.
So 6, 5, what?
Resident Evil 6 and Resident Evil 5, not Final Fantasy.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, yeah. Their releases on the PS4, you mean?
Yeah. But they're doing. Both companies are doing similar things with their brand. It's like, we've got this game coming out. We don't know if it's going to be that good. Let's keep announcing things. I think Final Fantasy 15 is going to look great. Whether or not it plays great will be a completely different situation. And it is a worry. Like, you've got a series that has obviously had 15 main entries into it, and obviously a couple of spin-offs. But is it going to soon be the end? Like, people think that Resident Evil and Silent Hill have had too many games, and they've only had 5, 6 sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, will this be the end of Final Fantasy if it fails?
I mean, would it be that big of a loss? I'm kidding.
Get them doing other stuff.
I'm just trying to piss Brett off, really.
I'm quite happy to see Final Fantasy die. I mean, I've only ever played 13 and 13-2.
Oh my god!
Crap,
so. Those are the worst possible ones
you played 13 and 13-2?
13-2 is the only one I've finished. I rented 13, and I was playing it on the 360, so it came on 3 discs.
Mate.
But they sent me 2 copies of disc 1.
Oh my god. Mate.
So
I was
13-2
like,
the time travel one?
Yeah, with the... you play Sarah and the boy, and it's bad.
Okay, honestly, there are actually a good few really decent Final Fantasy games. I don't think the series is legendary like many people do. I really don't. But there are some Final Fantasy games out there that I've really enjoyed, but mostly outside of the main series, like Tactics Advance. Incredible game. Fucking incredible.
Final Fantasy 14 is probably still the best JRPG at the moment.
I like Final Fantasy 14, but just MMO. Just MMO.
It is an MMO. Yeah.
MMOs, they always... I can't stick it on for too long because they demand too much of my time and I don't have much of it to give.
And obviously,
before you leave this earth.
Yeah.
Because you're 60 now, Dave?
What was that? What?
He's just calling you old.
Oh, I see.
Even though you're the middle child of this age system.
Oh, I see. I do feel old.
There were a few other JRPGs obviously talked about at E3. Some of them looked all right, but only one of them, I suppose, is something we could say will shift systems for some people, and that is obviously Persona 5.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Looks
Oh yeah.
bloody fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Futaba-chan, my waifu. Yeah,
You
I
said
think
the word.
I think Persona 5 looks fantastic. I mean, what is that studio? What has the P studio done wrong? Nothing. Nada.
Taken too long.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
They are great though.
We still don't have a Scooby when the Europe version is going to come out, because obviously Sega are the people that publish it now, and the Sega hate bringing out JRPGs to Europe, as proven by Yakuza.
Well, at least we've got a release date.
Yeah, and at least nowadays it's easy to just import something from America.
Yeah, totally. And I don't want to be mean to Yakuza, but let's face facts and say Yakuza's more of a niche game than Persona.
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
Whoa.
Yeah, totally. I mean, but
No
Yakuza fans like to pretend it's not, but it is. They totally. Yakuza fans think Yakuza's a big deal. I mean, and it might be in Japan, and I'm sure it's an expensive game, but it ain't that much of a big deal. Unfortunately, it's not a big name.
It's the best soap opera games ever.
It actually is. It's actually fantastic, but the hardcore fans think it's a bigger deal than it is. Unfortunately,
And it did seem Persona 5. I mean, it's probably not intentionally taking notes from Yakuza, but it's like there seemed to be a lot more. You can just go about and do stuff. You're not limited to having to do one task a day, which seemed good.
I think it also helps that it's set in Tokyo now, isn't it? Or it's set in a major city, so it just looks like Yakuza because you're running around the actual streets of a city.
I want that feudal Yakuza spin-off. I want that. Do you guys see that?
Isn't that out?
I think it's out in Japan.
Oh, okay.
I think it's out in Japan,
Yeah,
but like no localization.
there's been two of them since 2008.
There's been two of them?
There was one in 2008 on the PS3, and the other one was a launch title for the PS4.
Dude, those look great.
I've actually got Yakuza 0 sat right here in Japanese.
Well, that's useful.
And I got it the fucking week before they then announced that it was coming out over here. And so I was sat here waiting to play it, and then everyone who was doing the translations went, "Oh, it's coming to the US. Well, I'll stop my translation now at chapter 2." Yeah. I was like, "Oh, okay."
In terms of the other big games, I mean, with Persona 5, obviously we can talk about it till the cows come home. Like, it's going to be amazing.
Best be.
So let's actually say something about what Persona 5 showed at E3.
Yeah.
They showed off the first time we've seen English gameplay.
And they had hats. I saw pictures of people with Persona 5 hats, and I was like, oh yes. Oh
I thought you
yes.
meant in the game.
They've got the hat of the cat.
The cat.
The hat of the cat.
Yeah, but they finally translated the trailer. Gameplay showing off like an actual this is what a day looks like in Persona. If you don't know,
I actually got kind of pissed
year.
off with the trailer. I was like, as if they literally gave us the same trailer that we've had for a month or so, but just put subtitles on it.
Now we know what they're saying.
Well, fans had already put subtitles on it ages ago.
You can't trust fan subtitles.
I mean,
and also Sega tend to just take down those trailers because they like to be the ones that put up the trailers with subtitles because they're pricks.
I thought that was nonsense, but yeah, super hyped for the game. What did they show in the day, Bickmore? What did they show in a day-to-day thing?
They showed running around, going to shops. You can actually move around the school during the day and stuff.
Okay.
Where Persona 4 was sort of like, here are the 4 segments of the day, you might get to control 2 of them. I think you now have far more control than before. In a day takes longer to play through. I mean, running around cities in third person, and
that's pretty cool.
I saw stuff like that. You saw baseball. You went to a burger joint, and there was a waitress that had the same costume as Erica from Catherine, which makes me think that it could. I basically hope that they do what they normally do and cross over in some way to the other Atlas games.
I'd love that.
They like to do that.
Wasn't Vincent in one of the other Personas?
Vincent's in Persona 3 Portable.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Persona 3 characters obviously pop up in 4 and blah, 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 blah. It's just
Wait,
quite fun. Yeah, have you not seen that?
No, well, I've not played 3, so I wouldn't have known.
Okay, you know in 4 when you go to... Persona 4 spoilers if you care, like it's been out for fucking ages.
Oh
but...
my god!
Since 2004.
When you go to the college in Persona 4, that's the college from Persona 3, and there's a few characters that pop up, which is just a nice little touch, I think.
Oh my god!
Did not know that.
One thing I do like about Persona... What am I talking about? Yeah, Persona 5 is when they showed you going around the dungeons. And whereas before you can obviously sneak up and like try and get a secret attack in or something, you sort of seem to do an almost like stealth thing and run up to someone, jump on their back and start stabbing them.
Yeah,
it's got like a cover system.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's cool.
It looks really impressive. There's a lot going on. And
I like that we
all
finally
comes
know
together.
something about the story as well, in that it seems like they're a group of like vigilantes targeting people who are sort of people who are abusing their power.
Yeah.
It seems
like they all have access to the shadow realm or world or whatever.
Yeah, and they're using their powers to then like sort of make more money and whatnot.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
More influence.
Definitely. Like
It's definitely a step up from murder mystery.
Yeah. In terms of other games, obviously that got announced that looked good. I found it weird Persona 5 didn't actually get more talk on the actual stage. I was kind of Sony's conference kind of shocked me because it just had games that I didn't even have an inkling might be coming out. Like Spider-Man obviously came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Looks cool.
Insomniac.
Yeah, made by the Ratchet and Clank guys. That looked cool. You also then had... hopefully it's not. And then you also had, obviously, the new game by... Is it Bend?
Yep. Who did the Vita Uncharted game?
Yeah, so...
that was the biggest thing they'd done?
Games. Yeah. But that's what I like about Sony. No, they do. They did Siphon Filter.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
You've never heard of Siphon Filter?
No, because I was like...
Who are you,
You're so
Bickmore?
young. You're so young. You're
Wait,
like
how
a
old
small-
were you when the GameCube and that were out?
GameCube, when was that? 2004?
Oh my god.
Earlier than that. Okay. When was the GameCube? What even was a GameCube?
Oh my god.
Siphon Filter was basically came out at the similar time to Metal Gear Solid, and it was great for the simple fact you could taser people until they set on fire. And those guys are obviously now making a World War Z's type zombie game with bikers.
I was 2 years old when Siphon Filter came out.
Oh Jesus.
So
Okay,
that tells you why I've never
Yeah,
fucking
not
heard
sure.
of it.
Not sure. I care about the biker zombie, whatever.
I know, but it was a weird one to close out a conference.
Biker melodrama, whatever. Yeah, tell someone else.
I think somebody else pointed out that it definitely felt like something else was supposed to be shown there.
Yeah.
Because they opened with... So it starts off with an orchestra... The Sony press event starts with orchestra playing a tune, then it's like, oh, it's God of War, boom, and then trailer for Days Gone, and then it goes on to something else, and then at the end of the conference again they go, and here's more Days Gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did seem a bit... It was a weird way to end a conference with a game that sort of you weren't expecting to be the end of a conference, which is also what Ubisoft did by announcing basically the heir to the throne of SSX Tricky, it seems, with Steep.
No.
It's quite interesting because all of Ubisoft's closers that I can remember have been things like Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs and The Division and Ghost Recon, always big games, and there's snowboarding, which I never feel like is a big game.
And it's boring snowboarding. It's not like racing as much as just like, oh, here's a mountain. I will teleport to the top of the mountain and ski down.
Yeah, but it's not just... But then that's the thing with Steep, and we'll find out more when the beta obviously comes out and when more people get to play it. But it's like you've got snowboarding, you've got skiing, you've got wingsuits, you've got paragliding.
It looks too simulatory for me. Like, it doesn't actually look like a fun game. It just looks like winter sports simulator.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I'm excited about it just because we haven't had that yet on this gen. We've had very little actually in terms of extreme sports. So So, I mean, the closest we probably had has there been a Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympics on Wii U?
You need to play NBA 2K16 for that intro cinematic. just you know what? Just Google the intro cinematic later. Just get it on YouTube. It's absolutely incredible.
I'm pretty sure the story mode of that also has a ghost.
Yeah, I've looked into it, but yeah. I tried. I was going to play it, and I scanned my face, and it gave me the biggest nose. I looked like a Neanderthal, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this game.
But yeah, I think Steep could be good. We'll find out. It was one of the many games from E3 that had betas you could sign up for. Obviously, you could sign up for betas for Battlefield 1 as well. Which looks
Halo
alright.
Wars 2 was announced at Microsoft. You could sign up for that.
Who the hell cares about Halo Wars?
Whoa.
Who the hell cares about Halo? Boom.
Well, honestly, yeah, like that's legitimate. That's legitimate.
That's a knife in my heart, that is.
Who actually gives a shite about Halo? It hasn't been good since Halo 3 ODST.
I can't think of much else that was there that we haven't talked about apart from Sea of Thieves, which looks alright.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, did you play Guns of Icarus on PC a few years ago?
No.
So that was basically airships, and you had it was almost like blimps, and it's like competitive shooter is a loose term. Like you'd have one person who was the captain who was like flying the ship. You had a couple of engineers or a couple of gunners, and you weren't just like sat in one position. You could run around your ship and you could swap positions and whatnot.
That sounds pretty cool.
Sea of Thieves looks like that, but you're cartoony pirates made by Rare, which just sounds so much more appealing.
How would you even know? You were a kid last time Rare made a good game.
Rare made a good game?
Probably. Whoa.
Brett, you could just
I
stop
played
now.
fucking Conker.
When? When? You would never... You're not even old enough to play Conker now. They have too much swearing in.
I played the re-release one when that came out on the Xbox.
Yeah, that was a pretty good re-release.
Yeah,
Live and Reloaded.
It was alright, yeah.
So, and obviously...
And Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts.
Oh my...
That's a really good game. I loved that game. I loved that
No, that game is not good. Like, objectively.
A puzzle racer.
Objectively
a puzzle
super
driving
bad.
Platform.
Listen,
nah, mate.
Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, right? Oh god, I could have cried when that came out, honestly.
If my dad listens to this, that was one of the best birthday presents I ever got.
Aw, happy Father's Day.
Yeah, indeed.
I got my dad a beautiful Father's Day card that had Oscar Isaac on the front because it was Star Wars.
Very
Fantastic.
See?
Okay, so wait, what else happened to E3? I felt like I had something.
The big
Detroit.
thing, I suppose, would obviously... Oh yeah, Detroit.
What the fuck what the fuck is Detroit?
Detroit's just
Detroit is
basically
LA Noire with robots.
Yeah, or
Oh.
LA Noire with robots.
Well, I don't care about that then. Jesus.
It's by David Cage.
Oh my god.
As I said that, I realised that wasn't a selling point.
Yeah.
I like David Cage is basically like Joel Schumacher, or like those mid-tier directors that just like aren't very good, but you enjoy their films enough that you're like, yeah, that was entertaining for an hour and
The
a
thing
half.
is, I would kind of want to play the David Cage games, but I played what the fuck was it? Oh shit, Heavy Rain. I played Heavy Rain. I couldn't even remember its
Played
name.
Fahrenheit.
No, I played Heavy Rain, and
I played Fahrenheit when it came out. It was like 2004.
I think I enjoyed my time with it, but then by the end of it, I just never wanted anything to do with it ever again. Like, I wanted to disown it. I wanted to, like, toss away the memories. I wanted to burn them. Just, I don't want to have that sort of icky feeling after playing a game again.
The problem with David Cage games is they basically instigated the thing that then became Life is Strange and the Telltale games. They sort of laid the template. But much like sort of Resident Evil Post 4, I know I reference Resident Evil a lot, it's just because I've been playing a lot of Resident Evil, I apologise. But Post 4 Resident Evil just sort of kept using the same template. And whereas Life is Strange and the Walking Dead games and the other Telltale games have sort of expanded on that template and made it better, David Cage then brought out Beyond, and the selling point was basically like, it's Willem Dafoe and Ellen Page. And it was enjoyable. but it wasn't
I
great.
did not like that game.
I didn't hate it.
I wanted to play it, and then I downloaded the demo or something, and just the controls, I just hated it. It was just not fun to play.
What I liked about the Beyond demo is not Beyond Detroit. What I liked about the Detroit demo is it seems to have taken a few pages out of Life is Strange's book, and it's a case of you're encouraged to actually explore and find out information about characters before trying to interact with them. So you're not just going in and being like, "Hi there, you're a bad guy. Let go of that innocent girl," sort of thing.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether or not does it have a rewind function, or is that just
No, I don't think it
was
does.
that just part of the trailer?
I think that was just part of the trailer.
Yeah,
I'm undecided. I will probably buy it when it comes out and love it because I really like that sort of stuff and I enjoy playing it with my girlfriend. Obviously enjoyed Until Dawn last year, which looked terrible, to be fair, in all the trailers it had before it came out, and turned out to be one of the best games of last year. So
I didn't get along with it.
Didn't you?
No.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just I played it and I didn't want to continue playing it.
I just liked it, but I like that style of game. I'm glad. It's the same as like when people bitch about walking simulators. It's like it's not like every game coming out is a walking simulator. There's variety there. It's nice that it's nice he's getting to make another game. It might be terrible. Obviously Microsoft announced the Scorpio, which basically just seemed to be like,
oh my god,
someone not understanding tech trying to talk about tech, which is great.
6 teraflops.
They should have just had Donald Trump on stage.
Let's make gaming great again. 4K gaming's the crispiest pixels you ever did see. The teraflops you need for
uncompressed
VR.
Pixels or something.
Uncompressed. Like, no, totally. This is what happened. When the Xbox One announced the reveal happened and they said that everything was upscaled to 1080p, and do you remember when everyone was confused? Like, wait, does it output everything at 1080p or is it upscaled? And it was just like everything's 1080p, and that was the only answer we got. I'm pretty sure Phil Spencer and all that, they went back to the engineers and they're like, right, explain to me what the difference is between native and upscaled 1080p. And what they came away with was, when it's upscaled, it looks like almost a compressed image because it's not native, and then they've just come back like, these are uncompressed pixels, guys, we've done it. We did it. We solved the problem, and everyone's just here like, oh, for fuck's sake. And Scorpio could be interesting, but the best thing about Microsoft's conference, by far, was knowing that I never have to buy an Xbox One. They were just like, you look at all these systems we're playing Xbox games on. You don't even need an Xbox One anymore. And I was like, you fucking bought me in. I'm in. I'm doing it. I'm going to buy some of your games. I mean, I'm not going to buy a console.
They announced that like nearly everything that was at the conference was going to be part of their new Xbox Play Anywhere scheme. So you can get it on Windows or Windows 10.
What was there that wasn't Play Anywhere?
Like, I don't think anything that they showed wasn't. Maybe was Gears on it?
I think Gears was on it.
Gears was. The
only thing I can think of that they're not bringing to PC now is like Halo. I mean, they've got Halo Wars, but who gives a shit?
And I mean, it was an interesting thing. I wouldn't be shocked if Sony did a last minute step back with the PlayStation Neo. I mean, it was sort of announced. They announced it a few days before it's not going to be there, but I wouldn't be shocked if they remembered obviously how they sort of won it when they announced the PS4, and that was basically ripping apart everything Microsoft said because they had the time to do it.
Well, don't forget that Scorpio wasn't the only announced Xbox One at the conference. They also announced the Xbox One Slim.
Which actually makes sense.
The same size as PlayStation 4 now.
It's like £250 up to £350 or something, depending on whether you get the 500, 1TB, 2TB hard drive. But it's a £250 Ultra HD Blu-ray player.
Absolutely.
It's a 4K Blu-ray player.
Absolutely.
And I was like, what?
I think that makes so much sense.
They're like £400 on their own. But to get an Xbox One with it as well, I'm like, I might actually get an Xbox One Slim.
It's honestly, as soon as they announced it, I was like, oh yeah, 4K Blu-ray. It makes absolute sense straight away. It's like, why wouldn't you? Yeah. It's just... There's not many devices that can give you a decent 4K experience, and it looks like they're going for that market. Why not?
It's got HDR
Yeah, people
well.
people are
It
being
supports
pushed to buy
HDR.
4K TVs, and they're not getting given any 4K content. And Microsoft just come along and say, "Hey, actually, we've got one. We've got it. Here it is." And everyone's like, "Fucking fine."
It's just that buying a 4K Blu-ray costs about 30 quid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the issue. But I mean, I imagine the PlayStation 4 Neo is going to do similar stuff to what the Slim is doing.
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
Probably
I
a bit
doubt
just
it'll
with
do
a bit
as
more
much
of
as
the
what
actual
Scorpio
graphical
does.
upgrade.
Yeah.
Imagine if the PS4 Neo is smaller than the PS4 as well.
Jesus.
And that was the thing, I suppose, is none of the conferences felt like they had a big end. Even the Scorpio announcement was a bit of a nothing, because it was a case of, this is what is in there and it's wicked and it's great and here's all this information. It's like, that's
And it had already
it.
leaked.
Yeah, precisely. And I suppose that was the problem. There was a lot of stuff that had leaked from E3. I'm sort of glad that there was a few that were surprises. Like God of War was a nice surprise.
Sony
I
had all the
talked about,
surprises.
Resi 7, we all thought it was going to come, but that was a nice surprise. I liked that Nintendo basically went, yeah, we're only going to really have one game, and they still won E3, which was quite funny. Or won E3 in the eyes of many.
Fantastic.
I just want to
game.
take some time here to shout at all the people who shat on them talking about Pokemon, because that little half an hour thing that they showed of Pokemon Sun and Moon before showing Zelda was like, that completely sold me on that game, and I've never liked Pokemon before.
Pokemon's awesome, man.
Like, everyone was going, oh, this bit's taking forever. I want to see more Zelda. It's like, no, they've actually done some decent stuff to Pokemon to make it more interesting for me.
And honestly, they've shown loads of Zelda.
On the first night they showed about 7 hours of it.
Like, there is so much Zelda gameplay on YouTube now. You can see so many different bits and pieces, and like, I can't see why anyone would be complaining. It's so good.
The only bit I needed to see to be sold is if you kick a chest to open it when you're not wearing any shoes, Link stubs his toe.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, perfect.
Done.
Excellent.
It's over.
In terms of other things from E3, is there anything else you can think about that you saw that you liked?
Skyrim remastered.
Oh, it looks like shit.
Boo.
No,
It doesn't look
that's
like
the
shit,
thing
but
that
it doesn't look good.
I won't like it. People will like it. New Star Wars, Amy Hennig Star Wars.
Yeah.
It looked like, they showed off that 5 seconds of a man walking through a door.
Yeah.
Like, to me, the character model looked like Sam Rockwell, and that's all I needed to see. Other than that, I can't really think of anything. Gears of War 4 had some gameplay that didn't look too great, but I think that was just a poor demo. Like, it was in the middle of it was a level in the middle of a storm, and it's like, well, it's just really dusty.
Honestly, all the games that have come out at E3, I think some of them look good, but literally only Zelda has gotten me excited. That was the only time a trailer came up, and I was just sort of sat mildly speechless at all these things they were showing me. Like, I've been a Zelda fan for a very long time, and this game just looks like it's giving me everything I've ever wanted and everything I didn't know I wanted. And have either of you played Xenoblade Chronicles X? I'm guessing no.
No.
The sense of scale in that game is fantastic. Like, you can see something in the distance and you can go there, and how small you feel compared to the mountain ranges, the enemies, the landscape itself is fantastic. And in case you didn't know, Monolith helped optimize Skyward Sword for the Wii, and from what I've seen of the Zelda footage, it has a very similar object pop in and fade in that Xenoblade Chronicles X has, so I'm assuming since that game wrapped, they've been assisting with Wii U and NX optimization for the game.
That's quite cool.
And just thinking that Zelda has that sense of scale, if they even get anywhere close to that, I'm just 100% sold, on board. Zelda! Okay, I'm done.
In terms of stuff that wasn't at E3 that you were expecting, were there any absences that just you genuinely think it would be there?
There are, but I can't think what they are now.
I'm struggling.
The main one for me, I thought there'd be like a update on sort of the big games they announced, obviously last E3 at the PlayStation one. I thought we'd find out about Final Fantasy 7 a bit.
Yeah, I did think that earlier.
Yeah.
I thought we'd find out about Shenmue.
I'm not surprised about not finding out about Shenmue, because as far as I'm concerned, they haven't even made anything yet.
I
don't
have
think
the
they've made
Kickstarter updates
anything.
to prove they've at least made a model.
They haven't done anything. They've just put together stock assets and a couple of models. That's it. That's all Shenmue has right now.
It's on the tip of my tongue. Crackdown. We didn't see Crackdown. I definitely thought we'd see Crackdown 3
I
at
thought that
Microsoft.
was going to use the power of the cloud to give us incredible explosions.
They needed to give the power of the cloud to remember to bring it to fucking LA.
When was? Wait a minute. When was that game supposed to come out? Didn't it have a rough release date originally?
It was this year. I think it slipped to next year now.
It was expected to release this year, but on Monday the developers announced it would be delayed till 2017.
And I think the fact that they showed no footage is kind of worrying, because like even with a delay, they would have something to show, surely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All we've seen so far is a cinematic, and let's face it, Crackdown's never been that good. Like the first one was really good at the time for like a near launch 360 title, awesome, but on the whole, not amazing. I'm not 100% aware why people are getting excited about it, to be honest.
Yeah, without the nostalgia pang, Crackdown's terrible. I remember playing Crackdown about 3-4 years after the Xbox 360 had come out.
Yeah,
and
same.
It was not fun.
Yeah, I actually thought it was fun, but like, just compared to all the games I'd played since and all the other experiences you can get out there, I just can't rate it that highly. It's good. It's good. It's fun. It's just like it's a pretty solid like 7.5, maybe 8 at a stretch.
Yeah. And I suppose No Man's Sky, I was sort of shocked wasn't there, but at the same time, like, it was meant to be out by now. Like, they probably hadn't planned for the delay.
Yeah, totally. It's coming soon, and just fingers crossed it's good. Fingers
And
crossed.
from the sound of things as well.
Off post-show or something.
Yeah. From the sound of things, part of the delay was because of a lawsuit. Did you hear about this?
Yeah.
About the whole
I did.
good old Murdoch, and apparently having trademark of the word sky. So they spent the last 3 years trying to get the rights to use the word sky.
That's
And
such
they've only just
horseshit.
sorted that now. It is. It's ridiculous. The same reason why Xbox had to use OneDrive instead of SkyDrive as well, apparently.
It's such bullshit.
That makes sense to me, because SkyDrive would make me think it's part of Sky, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense, but then there's... I suppose the No Man's Sky thing's more comparable to when Candy Crush Saga people tried to sue the Banner Saga people because they used the word saga.
I actually think
Or
that's
saga.
always such horseshit.
Yeah.
Like, just... It's a single word, just using the title of something... It makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
But yeah.
In terms of other things, I mean, as always with E3, there seem to be a lot of good games about there that didn't get the stage presence, and like a lot of indie games that could turn out to be amazing, could turn out to be bollocks. PlayStation VR impressed me, I think, enough to make me not cancel my pre-order. It didn't impress my mate enough. He's going to, I think he's scrapping his pre-order.
You've got to have a party at yours, yeah, so I can come and try it, yeah.
But yeah, my mate, I think, is cancelling his pre-order so he can get an NX because Zelda impressed him more than any of the VR stuff, which, you know,
That's
fair enough.
probably fair.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm a big proponent of VR. Like, I'm a big, huge supporter, but none of it's exciting to me just now. I feel like it's one of those things where it still is in infancy and we are yet to see what it has to offer truly, but right now, not massively giving a shit.
Yeah.
I have a Gear VR headset and I can play like Minecraft VR on that, and that's really cool, and it's a really cool experience, but that's where it ends. It's a really cool experience. I'm yet to see a super amazing gaming application, but I think it will come.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one. Resident Evil 7 being playable entirely in VR is enough for me to think, yeah, this probably makes sense.
Yeah.
And my other thinking is, if I buy it and hate it, like in the build up to Christmas, I can probably sell it and get the money back, which is a terrible way to think.
Yeah, no, I understand
sold
that
out
perfectly.
pre-orders.
That makes perfect sense.
But I would sell it. I'm not so harsh that I would sell it for more, obviously, than what I bought it for.
Oh, I'd get what I could out of it. Like, do you guys remember the new 3DS Ambassador Edition?
Yes, I think so.
I bought that, and then I had it for like a couple of months, and then they were like, okay, now we've got a Majora's Mask XL, and I was like, eBay, here we go, Ambassador Edition. What's that? Someone wants to give me 50 quid extra? Okay.
And I suppose that seeing as we're on about selling stuff that we have for more, the beautiful murky grey area of all the E3 swag getting sold off on eBay. What's been some of the worst stuff that you guys have seen, if you've seen any?
That £200 Zelda
not
coin.
watching it.
What? Really?
So someone was trying to do, I think it was like maybe $200, but still, like, just no. Like, I guarantee that those coins... Did you guys see that Zelda mystery box was going to be sold on Nintendo UK Store?
No.
Like, you can pre-order it now, and it's going to have, like, a selection of Zelda goodies in it, and almost guarantee that the coin's going to be in it.
And yeah, I mean, I saw a Resident Evil 7 t-shirt getting sold for 75 quid. I saw there was a Arrow Lego figurine or something. I think that was getting sold off for like 50 quid. And it's just a case of like... And the worst thing is, I mean, some of them probably are journalists, but most of them will be the YouTube personalities that people seem to be fine with letting them do stuff like that when they're getting...
To be fair, I feel like a lot of journalists for like smaller sites don't give much of a shit. I mean, like, have you seen like I think there was a Twitter account called like Bad Journalism, and in reality, it was just retweeting people with anime avatars who just said, "Hey, look, I just got my free copy of game in the post on Twitter," and which is like it's bad taste if nothing else. And I feel like it's those types of doing those sorts of things, like the Dark Souls free press kits being sold at like what prices were it? Like £200, £300?
It was quite a bit, yeah.
That was absolutely absurd. I could not believe it.
Was it like a bit of hay and a bit of parchment?
Okay, so yeah, there's this like bit of burlap sack, and there's like 2 parchment style posters, which are quite nice. I have framed, but honestly, the printing on them is very dark. And much darker than I would like. Yeah. Like the entire and the box itself is of slightly rough quality with a slightly nice engraving of a bonfire and the Dark Souls 3 logo on it. But it's shoddy. It's like a pallet from a forklift truck. Like that's the material it's been made out of.
Oh no!
It's absolutely in no way worth
quid.
a couple of hundred quid. Absolutely no fucking way. Even if you're getting the game with it 2 weeks early, absolutely fucking no way. No way in hell. I mean, I like it and everything, and it's on my shelf, but I feel like the people who bought that because they were like Dark Souls fanboys or whatever, completely robbed. Yeah. Selling swag like that is so absurd, because maybe it's limited, but I don't feel like it's genuinely going to hold value or be worth something in years to come. I don't.
It's going to rot away first.
Yeah.
And well, before we say goodbye, what games will you be playing in the next few weeks until our next podcast, do you think?
I've got to play some more Kirby, and I'm still going to play more Fire Emblem.
Cool.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
You are the Wii U boy. I'm so jealous.
What?
That's the JRPG, isn't it, coming out on Wii U?
Yeah. It's basically Fire Emblem Persona. It's like it's an exclusive Persona for Wii U, and I'm just like, yes. You see, this is what I mean when people say, "Oh, I don't think I should get a Wii U for this," and I'm like, "Yeah, look at this fucking list of games I've been playing. I've just been sat here like, guys, Zelda, guys, Xenoblade, guys, fucking Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I'm
so jelly.
Do you know how good Splatoon is? It's so good.
So I'm probably going to be playing more Rocket League. I think the season ends tonight as of recording.
Oh, nice.
The second season.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to be playing today, trying to get up into the you got the Rising Star, which is like the blue ranks. I'm like a couple of divisions away from that at the moment. If I can get it, then that'll be wonderful. Other than that, I've just gotten back into GTA 5.
Oh, cool. I've still not played the online.
That's what I've been playing. I didn't play the online at all when it first came out in, was it 2013?
Yeah, probably.
And I've just started playing online with my mates now, and it's so...
Yeah, I will be trying to finally finish off Uncharted 4, because I still haven't finished it. I can't even remember. Well, I've been on holiday, I suppose. That's why I haven't played it as much. But I'm near the end, and I'm trying to savour it a bit. I don't want to just smash through it. I've enjoyed it. I like swinging around and jumping off into people's faces and punching them. That's always fun. I am also probably going to be playing a game called Deadlight.
I've been doing that last week.
Don't know when I don't know when the embargo lifts, but I will be playing that. And
I'm playing Guilty Gear as well. Dave, have you got Guilty Gear?
Yeah, I got Guilty Gear.
Right, we need to play some of that.
Yeah, we can play Guilty Gear.
There we go. I might go back to the Division. I think I'm going to be that weird guy.
On what? On what?
Gross.
On PS4.
Ugh.
But they're mainly going to be playing Uncharted 4 when I actually jump into the multiplayer a bit because I really enjoyed the beta.
Gross.
And apart from that, I don't know. I'm just sort of waiting now for No Man's Sky. I was sort of expected to be playing that, now, and obviously I'm not playing it. So now we just play the waiting game.
If that should be good, I'm hoping it'll be good at least.
I'm hoping it'll at least be adequate. It's got a good soundtrack, at least, with 65 Days of Static. So yeah, we've been the B Tier podcast, and I hope you've really enjoyed it. Obviously, it's been our first time, so there'll be a few teething problems, but we'll be back, we'll be stronger. You can give us feedback, and we'll obviously learn from it, and hopefully when we come back, we'll have proper social media channels for you to follow, along with the likes of competitions and various other things.
Wow,
that, you should share it with your friends. But until then, I've been Brett Claxton.
I've been Tom Bickmore.
I've been Dave Aubrey.
We've been the B Tier podcast, and you've all been wonderful. Goodbye.